Okay.
Good evening. Tonight we're here strictly to hear two additional proposals. We're going to collect some information on both of these people's interest in ARP funds, and we're not going to have any discussions or decisions. We will make those at a later date, the 24th of June. So with that said, Tara, representing Perry Central School Corporation, correct?
Yes. Okay. Great. So I sent Commissioner Cole this proposal on Friday. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to look at it or not. I'm happy to give you an overview or just answer questions that you might have, whichever you prefer.
We've got it, but if you wouldn't mind just kind of going through it for the public so they understand what you're
Yes. So our idea for this is to add pickleball courts at Perry Central. As you all probably know, in our neck of the woods in northern and central Perry County, Perry Central is the hub of the community. It's where people gather. It's where people come to do things. So for years we had continuing ed and adult education classes and intramural volleyball and basketball, and still having that on Wednesdays and Sunday nights. Some of your sons might have been there. It's typically usually men, but just try to open the facility to the community. It's a community school and the taxpayers own it is how we view it. And so we see this as a natural extension of the work that we've already done to add an outdoor space that people could use. So pickleball is kind of all the rage right now, and it seems to be just a growing sport that is something that can appeal to people of all ages. So, and we have a space for it that the corporation can provide and would also provide ongoing maintenance and upkeep of it into the future. So our ask from the ARP grant is $44,000, which would go for asphalt and equipment and light poles. And we would get matching funds for the site work. So the surveying, the dirt moving, the rock base for it. And then we have a licensed electrician who is our assistant maintenance director who can do the lighting and the electrical service work. We can paint the lines and do all of those pieces that would need to be done as well. So our matching funds are $9,300, which is about 17% of the total project cost of $53,407. I attached some documentation that shows you a couple of different areas that we identified on the existing campus that would work pretty well for it. And it is also really close to parking so that folks wouldn't have to walk really far to get there. So that is our idea. And obviously, anytime you can provide opportunities for people to be active in a community, that improves their overall physical health and well-being. It's also interesting that, in our part of the county, there aren't sidewalks or walkways or what's it called? The trail, like the paved trails. And so people come and use our parking lot to teach their kids how to ride a bicycle. It's pretty common to know that you can access our school sites and our facilities for you and your family. And so anyway, we saw this as just a natural extension of the work that we've already done. And that is our request. Happy to answer questions.
How many courts?
Three
courts. Okay.
3 courts. Yes. Might be able to squeeze a 4th one in. It depends on how it lays. So, yeah.
Will this include equipment also for the?
This request includes equipment.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you be willing to accept a partial grant?
Yes, we would probably have to do a partial project. We would need to maybe we would do 2 courts or something, or like reduce the size of it. Yeah, we tried to be really, really efficient in our ask and try to request something very modest because we know that there are competing. A lot of people have good ideas for these funds, and you're trying to make them go as far as you can. So we didn't ask for the moon because we felt like. To be fair to the other people that are trying to get funding too, that this was a reasonable ask and with quite a nice match as well.
Saying that Perry Central was awarded the grant, what is your timeline?
We think we can get it done
this year.
Yeah, we think we can get it done this fall.
Okay, because I know pickleball is really big.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
My son and daughter-in-law live in Newburgh, and they play all the time.
Yep.
And it's something, like you said, for all ages.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The older
demographic can play too. That's
Yes.
right.
Us old folks.
That's right.
Now, will this be open certain hours or?
I mean, ultimately, it isn't something we would, I don't think, use during the school day. So yes, if there's recess that goes on during the day that's pretty close to that area, so we would just have to think that piece through.
Mhm.
For sure after school hours, but potentially during the school day too, we just have to, we would probably still want people to sign in at the office. Like there are specifics,
Yeah.
around some of that we would have to still
No.
figure out, those logistics.
You do have tennis courts.
We do
If-
not,
You do not.
we do not.
What about your lighting
Okay, I thought
for,
you did.
if someone
That's
wanted to play at
included as
night?
well. Lighting is included in this request as well.
And they do have access to turn the lights on and off, or,
Yeah, we
have
probably,
you?
probably make them motion activated.
oh, okay. And if the deer come up and they want to play,
Then
they,
they can play too.
okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
More likely to have a dog, but
It would draw people, I think, because it's getting pretty big. I could never make the transition because I played tennis, so.
we used to have tennis courts years and years
Yeah,
ago.
I thought so.
Yeah, they've been gone for probably 20
Yeah.
years.
Well, I played a long time ago.
Yeah, that former superintendent made it a parking lot.
Where is your other grant coming from?
Well, we just have people who'll do the work for us.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not a grant, it's, part of it is from our operations fund, and part of it is, so we've got, Construction Engineering Solutions is Glenn H. and he'll survey it.
In-kind
Yeah,
donations.
kind donations, yeah.
Okay, well, good.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, I just want to commend you on all the information you gave us. I think that's wonderful, and it really helps me to make decisions with as much information as possible, so.
I'm like that too.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next one up is Klein Wire. She's your hearing person.
Oh.
You'll hear her.
This is tall. So would you like me to do the same thing, kind of run
Yes.
through everything? Okay, so as some of you probably know, we're opening an audiology clinic down on Main Street. You've probably seen our really pretty building that we have going up. We're getting really close to being finished with the actual building. We have maybe 2 more weeks of construction, and then the facility itself will be finished. We'll be good to go there. So what we're requesting from the committee is some help with some funding for some of the pieces of equipment that we have. Included in those pieces of equipment is the sound booth, which it would be big enough to accommodate a wheelchair. It has extra windows to help to accommodate any claustrophobia that people might have, things like that. It also has a ramp, again, to allow for access for a wheelchair. Another piece of equipment we're requesting is an audiometer, which is the piece of equipment that actually creates those tones that you listen for and raise your hand when you hear them. Thirdly, we're asking for it's called a tympanometer. It basically assesses the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear, and lets us know a little bit more about the function of the system as a whole. And then the fourth piece of equipment is a really cool piece of equipment that's kind of newer in the field of audiology. You basically put a probe inside of the ear and you put the hearing aid in over top of the ear. So what we're able to do is measure the actual output of the hearing aid inside of the individual's ear, because everyone's ear canal is a different size. So depending on how big or small that ear is, the sound in the ear is going to do something completely different. So that piece of equipment allows us to measure exactly what's coming out so that we can then kind of fine tune the hearing aid for that specific individual. We weren't able to find any other grants to match what we're requesting from the committee, which is also $44,000. But we have a pretty good working relationship with the manufacturer. So they were able to maintain the quote that they gave us back in August of 2023. So instead of paying what everyone else is paying right now for that equipment, we would be paying what we would have paid back in 2023. And they will honor that quote for us through July 31st of this year. And I'm also happy to answer any questions.
Would you be willing to do like be involved in a health fair?
Oh, absolutely.
Like they have the health fairs and open to the community at no cost for?
Yeah. We intend to be involved in healthcare. We also plan on working with the school district. There are a few different programs where you can go in and talk to the students about what you do. I actually did that this past fall as well. We're also thinking about doing one day every month at the local nursing homes, free of charge, service and repairs on hearing aids and things like that.
That's good.
Like, can you verify that you're the only audiology in the community?
Yes,
In
so
Perry County.
right now I am the only doctor of audiology in the community of Perry County. There is a hearing instrument specialist that works here in town. They do not have a degree in audiology. I went to undergrad and graduate school to obtain my doctorate in audiology. And that kind of differentiates me and allows me to do some of the tests that I talked about, specifically the one with the probe in the ear, that hearing instrument specialists aren't able to do. Dr. Logan at the hospital, the ear, nose, and throat physician, he does bring an audiologist with him once a week when he comes to town. She strictly does hearing exams for him. So she doesn't do the amplification or that side of things.
Personal question.
We can't hear.
She charges by the minute.
Do you, or will you accept Medicare
Yes, and
and
so
in-network, some insurances and things?
great question. Yes.
Yeah.
That is one of the things,
I have a vested
Hopefully.
interest.
sorry.
I have a vested interest.
Yeah, absolutely. We will work with Medicare, Medicaid, and the VA. And then we will also, for sure, work with United Healthcare
Okay.
because that's who Wapaka partners
Oh,
with.
good.
And then we're still trying to decide which other private insurers we'll work with. And that will kind of depend on how much they're willing to work with
Uh-huh.
us. Yeah, but Medicare, Medicaid, VA for sure.
VA for sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah, 'cause I know the only, if you go to the VA for, here, you have to go to Louisville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's a
that's a
drive.
haul.
It's a drive, yeah.
And I think VA, you can go anywhere, can't you? Is that?
If you're on community care,
Community care, okay.
if you have if they can get you into community care, which I'm sure that would work with you all also.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you
But
have
you
your
have to
email
live
on here if we have
75
any other
miles away.
questions that we come up with after
Yes.
the meeting or anything. I appreciate that. And then since we asked the others, I'll ask you as well. Are you
Sure.
willing to take a partial grant if that's,
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes, yeah, anything is helpful.
Other questions?
no, I want to commend you as well for all the information.
thank you.
Thank you.
that you
Yeah, yeah, you're welcome.
presented us.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tara.
Fine.
Thank you.
With her being the last one, it's going to be a quick, short evening. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Wow, shortest meeting I've ever been in.